What's up, Prize Fight fans? I'm Brian Tong, and this is the prize fight you've all been waiting for. It's a battle between two of the heaviest hitters in the smartphone world. It's a prize fight punch-out between Apple's iPhone 5 and Samsung's Galaxy S3 before the Jelly Bean update. Our judges for this fight are senior editor Jessica Duke It Out Dolcourt, senior editor Scott The Bottom Line Stein, and myself, All Night Long Kong. Now we'll take all three judges' scores and average them out to the nearest 10th each round. The final prize fight score will be an average of all rounds using the same system. Let's get this 5-round throwdown started. Round 1 is design. Apple brings its unmatched level of design and attention to detail with the most tightly crafted iPhone to date. Its 4-inch Retina display is still a beauty with 326 pixels per inch, a super bright display, and its two-tone design is thinner and lighter than the Galaxy S3. You might scoff at its 4-inch screen because it's commonplace now, but we haven't seen one in such a small footprint before. Now, Samsung's Galaxy S3 brings a sleek and silky body with its amazing 4.8-inch Super AMOLED display with 306 pixels per inch that completely dwarfs the iPhone 5 in size. It still has a slightly dimmer screen, even with the brightness turned all the way up, and it still has this plasticky feel, but this is the easiest big screen smartphone I've held on the market today. These phones both look amazing, but the iPhone 5 just gets the edge with a perfect 5, and the Galaxy S3 gets a 4.7. Next round is user interface and controls. Apple brings the same snappy, intuitive interface in iOS 6 with a mostly manual-free experience that's easy as apple pie. Now, you'll have the notifications pull-down menu, and the home button has multiple functions like seeing your currently opened apps or accessing Siri, but Apple still refuses to give us quick access to utilities or any real customization, and it sticks out like a sore thumb. Now, Samsung brings a much more tamed-down version of its TouchWiz interface that's less intrusive, and we like it. Its physical button has multiple functions to bring you back to the home screen, view your current open apps, or activate its S-Voice feature. You'll still have the same customization for all its widgets, a notifications pull-down with quick access to settings, and a bird's-eye view of your home screens. But it still feels a little dated, and we can't wait for its Jelly Bean makeover. The iPhone 5 takes another round with a 4.3, and Samsung gets a 3.7. So after averaging 2 rounds, Apple leads by half a point. Next round is features. The iPhone 5 finally gets on board with 4G LTE connectivity and brings 16, 32, or 64 gig options in black or white. Its dual-core A6 processor is blazing fast, and Siri becomes more useful with sports, movies, and food recommendations, but it still hasn't lived up to the hype. Maps brings turn-by-turn directions, but it takes a huge step back with the lack of public transit directions, no Google Street View, and maps that flat-out just aren't as accurate right now. Now, Passbook has big potential even if it's still early on, but the lack of any NFC on the phone might hold it back. Now, I've said it over and over, but the Galaxy S3 is flat out a feature freak of nature with 16 or 32 gig options in multiple colors, plus you get a micro SD memory card expansion slot, a replaceable battery, and 2 gigs of RAM for a snappy experience. The S3 has really pushed the envelope when it comes to unique features as well, with the ability to transfer data with S-Beam that works pretty seamlessly right out of the gate. Now, some of the gesture controls might seem a little gimmicky, like zooming into a picture by using the accelerometer, but I'd actually use the mute my phone by placing it face down or taking a screen capture by swiping with my palm. Plus, being able to make direct calls while texting by bringing the phone to your ear is really practical. Now, Samsung's S-Voice brings voice commands, but it's really not on the same level as Siri at all. But its Google Maps app is something you can count on with turn-by-turn, public transit options, and Street View, and it's probably one of the features I use the most on my phone. The Galaxy S3 takes this round with a perfect 5, and the iPhone 5 gets a 4.3. Next round is web browsing and multimedia. Both phones shine when it comes to web browsing and multimedia. The iPhone Safari brings a sweet full-screen mode, and text and images pop on its improved Retina display. You can't ignore Apple's iTunes, which brings the most robust library of multimedia that looks great thanks to that new display and supports 16:9 content natively without letterboxing. Its 8-megapixel camera brings a snazzy panorama mode and 1080p video support with the ability to take stills while recording video, and it still holds its title as the best camera on a mobile phone with its improved low light performance. Now the Galaxy S3 brings flash support in its browser, and its 4.8-inch display gives you so much real estate that web browsing and watching multimedia is a better experience. Now the Google Play Store brings a huge library of music and video content, and even if it lacks some of the exclusive iTunes has, it's a legit offering for the Google ecosystem. The Galaxy S3's 8-megapixel camera is excellent as well and features more shooting modes, including a buddy share shot mode and 1080p video capture as well. Now, if you want two of the best multimedia phones on planet Earth, you're looking at them, and we're handing out perfect fives to both of them. So after averaging 4 rounds, the Galaxy S3 trails by only 1/10 of a point. The final round that decides it all is performance. These are two of the fastest phones on the market, and benchmark tests support that, but using both phones in the real world is where you'll feel the zippiest navigation you'll find. Plus, I like saying the word zippy. Now, both phones with normal use were able to last us throughout most of the day, but make no mistake, it will still require you to charge them. Call quality was solid on both phones, and 4G LTE performance will vary depending on variables like location and your carrier, but these phones are the cream of the crop for 4G phones, and we're calling this round even with the tie at 5. So let's average out all 5 rounds, and in a prize fight where Apple jumped ahead early, Samsung chipped away and fought back with 3 perfect rounds, and we end up in a deadlock tie at 4.7 points apiece. But you know we can't leave it at that, so let's look at the breakdown, and in a throwdown showdown, we go to hundredths of a point, and the iPhone 5 just barely edges out the Samsung Galaxy S3, 4.73 to 4.66, and is your prize fight winner. These are two amazing phones, and it's impossible for you to go wrong with either one, but this battle is far from over with S3's Jelly Bean update coming soon, and you can be sure we'll be facing these bad boys off one more time. I'm Brian Tong, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you guys next time for another prize fight.